Hey everyone, Kyle Lewis here from the Worship Keyboard Tutorial YouTube channel. This is a reference video for the Sus2 chord and arpeggio. Now there's no official term in a music theory book for Sus2. However, if you play Christian music or read through a worship chart, you will occasionally come across the term Sus2. So I want to explain a little bit deeper what that means and how we can use these arpeggios as fills in our worship playing. So let's turn to the cameras and get started. So before we delve into the Sus2 arpeggio and the chord, let's look first of all at the traditional chord. So the traditional triad, and let's just take the key of C, is your basic root, third, and fifth. Now let's look at what a Sus4 is, because it'll help explain what a Sus2 is. So a Sus4 we probably have seen, that's where the third of the chord, in this instance would be E, is suspended up to the fourth. And typically in music there's the suspension resolution. Sus resolution. Sounds like an amen. Amen. Okay? In the Sus2 chord though, the third of the chord, in this case E, is actually suspended down to the second. So again, you're going to see this in Christian music, you're going to see it in worship music, but not necessarily in a music theory book. Okay? So let's look at how we can use this in an arpeggio sense. Again, the traditional triad has a very classical, traditional sound to it. The Sus2 arpeggio has that Sus2 sound. So it's a little bit harder for the fingering since you have two close notes here together. So the way I like to do it that works best with my fingering is to actually start with the fifth down here, go up to the root and the second. So I use a thumb, second, third. And usually when I go up, I tend to sandwich it on the fifth there. So I have the fifth here, and the other sandwiched in between here. Okay? Now this works really well with the one chord, as you can hear. But there are other notes in the bass that work as well too. You could use the 4. So I've got the same chord in the right hand, it's just a different note now in the left hand. Now I can also use the 6. This makes a really nice chord because you have the minor 7, you have the third, and then you've got what we call the 11 here. Sometimes you could think of it as the 4th, but when you have the 7th in there, it's technically the 11. So if you have a minor 11 chord, it also works really, really well to have the third of the one chord in the bass. So in this instance, it would be E. So if you're stepping up from like a 1 chord to that 4 chord, it sounds really nice with that third in the bass. Now you can use the 5 in the bass, but notice what happens when we do that. These 3 notes now become the root, 4th, and 5th of the G chord. So now this makes it a G Sus4. You don't have to remember all that, but that's what that has, and then you can resolve that actually to the third of the G chord. Okay. So now you can mess around with the 1, the 4, the 6. Get to that 5 and then resolve it. Now the 2 and the 7 don't work as well, but you can use them in certain contexts, like an ascending or descending progression. So if you're in the C chord, in my opinion, it still doesn't sound as good. Maybe a quicker movement. Just to keep that same chord, you can do that. The 7 also doesn't have has kind of a clashy sound, but it can work if you're doing a descending progression. Descending down to that A minor. So that actually has a really nice sound in that context, but as a standalone chord, it just doesn't have a great sound. So in that context of the descending, it can work really well. So now I just descended from the 1 to the 6 to the 4, 5 resolve, back to the 1. Okay? Well, I hope that you found this helpful, and click the subscribe button if you like this, and click the like button, and hit the notification button if you want to get some more notifications on videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.